Well, greetings. Hello, everyone out there in the wonderful land of Twitch. This is your DM, John. And I just want to make sure really quick that we do have audio coming through for everybody. You know, it's one of these things where these Twitch streams is kind of like having a seance. It's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So, anybody out there in Twitch viewer land?
I'm in Twitch viewer land, but I don't have the audio turned on.
Oh, hopefully.
I heard it.
Oh, you got it?
How rude.
Yes,
All right. So we do have audio. Excellent.
at least I do.
So, hello and welcome. Again, my name is John, and I will be your GM tonight for a game that is very unique. Tonight, we are playing Shinobigami. It is a Japanese RPG that was released here in America in the last 2 years. It kickstarted quite a while ago, but the thing is that it is a direct translation. It was one gentleman and a few of his friends, and it took a long time for them to translate the entire thing because it wasn't their main day job at the same time. But it is out from Kodadama Heavy Industries. You can pick it up on Itch. Itch is a great place if you're looking for indie RPGs. You'd be surprised how much stuff is out there and how many great games you can go and track down. In fact, I will go ahead and say that one of our other shows is called Cthulhu, and Chaosium has recently transferred a lot of their catalog to itch, and a lot of their books there. They have a couple books that are only available in that store, which I'm like, that's kind of cool. Great way to support them. That said, tonight is kind of a weird side mission, but not really. It's a side quest. Another game, another universe, but we got members from our table for Growing Shadows. Tonight, I am joined with Justine.
Hello.
I am joined by Toan,
Hello.
and I am joined by Steven.
Hey guys.
So, that said, we will be getting into character introductions in a moment, but this is a very unusual RPG from our perspective. A lot of our games are much more math intensive and longer with the purpose of people playing them over the course of months, if not years. There are people who do it if they can get their table together at the same time for weeks. Uh, but this game is actually one that you can play in a single night. So, other than that, just tossing out, seeing if there's any other announcements we need to make. I know that this coming week on Thursday will be our next Growing Shadows, I believe. Is that correct?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so Thursday is going to be our next Growing Shadows. And I'm hoping it's going to be a very special episode. I have prizes that I don't want my players to know. And
Hooray,
so,
surprises.
surprises for them. Because we're finally officially to some extent moved in. We have our studio is getting set up and life is getting a little bit easier, and so I want to do something special for all my players, and of course for my viewers as well, for putting up with us over the last few months, which has been really interesting, aside from just the wonderful quarantine life and not being able to meet at tables anymore. So with that said, Shinobigami is a game of modern ninja combat. It is very anime inspired and plot heavy in that way. As we go through the game, I will try to explain everything that goes on, but every game of Shinobigami begins with a narration that explains to some extent what is going on. And so this is all done by the DM for the first part. So let me go ahead and start with that. Imagine, if you will, a panorama shot of a drone flying through a forest in Japan. The camera kind of sweeps over the top of the trees, following at a very rapid pace, weaving in between them and dipping into canyons. Not yet. So, dipping into canyons and then coming out, the camera kind of veers off and over the top of a mountain cresting. And before you, you see a city. But it's not what you would consider a metroplex size. It is almost as if, imagine a smaller area, like the physical size of a town or a village, maybe about 10 or 15 of these high-rise buildings, perhaps about 20 stories tall. And outside of this city, you see a barrier of gray and green, as if the city is cloaked in shadow. My players, all of you are also seeing this in your dream. As the camera begins to approach this city, it is as if you know inside that it is a dark and powerful uh, jutsu that has protected this city and encased it and surrounded it. As the camera proceeds, it enters into this barrier around that city. And once it passes through, in your ears, you hear the screams and cries of spirits and ghosts and otherworldly creatures crying out from all around. But yet you see nothing other than just darkness and the buildings looming ahead. There are no lights in this village, this city that is the size of the village. You begin to fly towards a building that stands about 20 stories tall. And the camera pans to one floor, and you're getting closer and closer and closer. The camera dips through the wall and enters into a large room. Surrounded by glass and cement, you no longer hear the screams and cries outside. And it is quiet in this room. The walls are stark white, almost Spartan. There's no decoration on it. And the floors are wooden and very nice, but very ancient, as if somebody has rebuilt a structure on top of this building in this one room. And it is dark. But in the darkness, you see one pinprick of light start to flicker and erupt. It is a bluish green light. And after a few seconds of kind of flickering in front of you, it springs forth into a bluish flame, a ball of flame that is just hovering in air. From it, you hear a voice, and it says, "The time is quickly approaching." And another ball, similar, springs to life next to it, not too far away. And it says, "The sacrifice must be ready. The betrayal must take place. All has been written, and all who have been called will do their part." And it's as if the camera begins to zoom back, and where those two shapes are, these two flames floating in the air, you begin to see an outline of a face, and you realize that these burning embers of fire are something's eyes, and it sees into you, and you wake up. And that is going to be our intro for the story. And we're going to go ahead and roll our opening credits.
Oh, is Roxanne a player too?
No. So my players tonight, specifically Justine, Toan, and Steven. Roxy is here with us, but she is behind the scenes. She'll be running all our cameras, making sure things are going well. She is, when it comes to stream, she is the producer for our channel. So she is definitely stepping into that role specifically tonight.
Fun.
But that said, we are now into the intro phase of the game. Every player will have an opportunity to introduce their character into the world and into this story taking place. So, that said, where can we find? And I'm going to say, we're going to start off with Justine. So,
Okay.
Justine, the camera is now on you and what your character is doing. How would you describe yourself, and where would we find you?
Well, let's see. If it's a weekday, I'm at school because I'm just your normal, typical, average high school girl. I am surrounded by other also typical, normal, average high school girls because I'm super cool and I'm acting like I'm too good for it all. That's probably my first place. And if it's a weekend, then I'm at home talking to absolutely nobody.
Okay. We'll go ahead and say you are at school.
Okay.
And of course there's talking going on around you. Everybody's discussing different sport meets that have happened recently, a festival that's coming up. Oh, have you seen this one new kid? He's a transfer. Uh and just these standard high school discussions and talk. And in the midst of all this, of course, there are characters interacting with you. Do you have a group of friends or anyone that stays close to you here at the school?
At the school, my character Omi, she kind of surrounds herself with like the in crowd. She is kind of like the really yet aloof, popular one of the upperclassmen of the school.
Hmm?
So she's usually constantly surrounded by some sort of gathering of students.
Okay. And more than likely, they're discussing, what plans maybe for student council and things that the students are going to be responsible for. That said, let's go ahead and get a description there of what does your character look like?
She's got long dark hair. She's got like really like earrings and like fuzzy like scrunchies and stuff like that. She's like I don't know how you would describe
Trouble
I
keeping
guess
track
for
of
all intents and purposes she's kind of like bright and colorful. She kind of wears like the gaudy Claire's-esque jewelry, but it looks really cool on her.
Okay. And other than that, would you say that maybe your clothes, although you were wearing a school uniform, it's a little bit more tailored to you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's it looks kind of like sleeker than the rest of the uniforms. Like she's definitely been able to alter hers the way she likes it. There's like maybe like little colorful buttons here and there, like little pins. She'll have like and then again she'll just like accessorize just to kind of like boost it a little bit more.
Okay. As you're in class, a all the talking slowly starts to die down, and your fellow students start to not move. But there's nothing alarming about that. Out of the shadows nearby steps one of your mentors, a large man who is known as Goro. And he is, yeah, a mentor and a tutor to you.
My mentor Goro Roro.
And he does a short bow to you. Omi, I hope I have not interrupted you at a bad time.
Well, I'm like at school, but like it's whatever.
I need to inform you. We believe that there is an agent who has come into the area and plans to, if not thwart, be a menace during the final hour of our plans.
Crap.
So, we need you to do what you do best and keep your guardian safe.
Where is he, anyways?
It's a good question. I'm certain he's around. He does like to keep an eye on you.
Well, it's like what he's paid for, and actually, do we pay him?
Yes, yes, you do.
Okay, then yes, this is what he's paid for. He's probably around.
Very good. Well, keep your eye out for this agent. We need to know who he represents and if he is going to interfere. And
Yeah.
he kind of just sinks back into the shadows. And once he is fully gone, it's like the world suddenly starts back up around you. Students are talking as if nothing has happened.
I just go back to doodling in my notebook.
That said, out of my two other players, who would like to go ahead and do their introduction next?
I guess I'll go next.
All right.
And so, I'm going to be playing Takayana Gisanosuke. I am a rather young-ish salaryman that is working an average 9 to 5 office job, um, having a wife and family and all that jazz and whatnot. But after work and all that, I also am an active member of my daughter's school's parent teacher organization.
Okay.
That's adorable.
Now, at the same time, your character is also the guardian, correct?
That's right. And
Okay.
I generally do fill that role in more indirect ways, as being a part of um, the PTO. I can make sure that certain staff members are paying particular attention to certain students that I kind of, persuade them to look out for on my behalf.
All right. Where would we find your character?
Oftentimes, depending on if it's workday at my office at work, evening times I'm either at home with my family or at a PTO meeting of some sort, probably on either being held at the school itself or um, excuse me, or at some sort of like community center near the school as well.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna say PTO meeting.
All right.
So you're attending the meeting, and many of the families are there. Some of their kids. Where would you say you rank as a salaryman?
I would say that I am not the leader of the PTO, but I would say that I handle most um of the PTO's like fundraising and budgeting and all that other like financial logistics kind of stuff.
Okay. So you are there, and several people are walking around, and you know they'll see you. They'll be like, "Oh, how is your child? How are things going? Have you heard about this new bill on the docket? Can you believe that they're talking about redoing the shoe locker area and opening it up a little bit more?"
Hmm.
Uh, and they're like, "It's a
Exciting
waste of
stuff.
money. It's been that way since I was a student.
Oh, and
There's
of
nothing
course, my
wrong with it that a little paint couldn't fix."
right. Oh, and have some mochi that my wife made. She made enough for the entire group and all that jazz.
Oh,
While you're talking, there is a figure that walks up and rather short in stature, but he turns to regard you, and you know the face as well. And although the body is all wrong, it is the face of a gentleman who has procured your services for guardianship, Sonosuke, and it is also Goro.
Ah, Mr. Goro-san, how's it going? Have you been having a good day so far? Are you in good health?
I am. And he kind of, I have a question on something, and holds up a piece of paper, and it looks like pretty much the itinerary of what the school is doing that day, but it's almost as if the words have been pushed apart. And in the center of it, and he points with his pencil, and he's like, we where he points, it is written out in fine print. We have a threat. Someone is coming. You must do your duty. Are you prepared?
Oh, this item? Don't worry about this. I've made sure to reallocate the resources appropriately to handle this. And so you needn't worry. We'll go ahead and make.
Oh, I lost audio there for a second. Did that come through?
mm.
Oh, my headphones must have disconnected. What came through? What was it able to get through?
Make was the last word. But it was you were talking about he was that you have this item on the itinerary, that and then you'd like kind of left there.
Oh, yeah. So this item on the itinerary, we have properly reallocated our resources to address this issue. We'll be discussing it in council later on, and we will make sure to address this to the best of our abilities. You needn't worry one bit, Mr. Goro.
Excellent. And as he lifts his pencil from where he had been tapping it on the paper, the words that were written begin to fade away, and the lines of text that were there slide back together. And he just nods to you and says, "Very good. You know your duty is very precious."
Well, I'm happy to do my part to help this entire school system do better.
Excellent. Thank you.
And
And
I shake his hand, be all friendly and parenty, and just kind of a contributing member of society.
as he's talking to you, it's as if the face that was there, his face, Goro's face, kind of like there's a wind and it blows away as mist. And you are now shaking the hand of one of your fellow parents. And he's just like looking around. He's just like, oh, yes, yes. Am I frozen?
No,
There we go. Sorry. So, with that said, we're going to move on to our third introduction. So, Steven, tell us about your character.
All right.
So description, where would we find you?
All right. So Mike is an American exchange student. He is he's easy to point out because he's got blonde spiky hair. And you'd probably find him cutting class smoking cigarettes behind the school.
Oh, for shame.
He's a delinquent, but he's got a heart of gold, which may or may not come through during this session, so I have to say it out loud.
I got so much time to get it through.
Can't
It's
have
true.
a complete character arc, maybe.
You'd
But-
be surprised what this game can do.
We could squeak one out.
Yeah, I'm out back, smoking cigarettes, being a delinquent, squatting,
Okay.
not getting kicked out of school because I keep my grades up, and I'm the star of the track team. You know how it is.
Always. So yeah, I was completely the star of the track team myself, so I understand. While you're there,
I could see Roxy going like, no.
while you are there, you're actually waiting for your contact, and he has not arrived yet. This is someone who has specifically sent you on your mission. And while you're there, kind of doing your delinquent thing, smoking, hand in a pocket maybe, kicking at the dirt. And while you're kicking, you feel your foot hit something, and it sounds like tin.
It's probably the empty soda can I littered earlier.
You look down, and you have uncovered a box.
Huh.
So, looking down, and I'm gonna say, and looking into the box, you open it up. The lid is exposed to, just above or just below the level of the dirt.
Yeah,
And inside,
I do that squat lean where I essentially just put my face like really up next to it and look confused as to like what is this box doing here, and then I'll try to kick it open.
okay. Inside, you find what appears to be a letter folded many times. And looking into it, if you reach down and open up the letter,
Yeah, I'll reach down and I'll open up and unfold it many times.
it says on there, Jason, I only have enough time to leave this. They are in pursuit of me and will capture me. I will not allow them to take me. Therefore, I leave this mission up to you. You know what you must do. You are acting alone now. Fulfill your job. And this is all hastily scribbled in there.
All right. Well, I take out my lighter and I burn the note, and I rebury the box, and I turn to no one, and I say, "I work better alone."
All right. So that said, we are now moving on into the actual scenes that take place within the game. There are two primary scenes that can happen: drama scenes and battle scenes or combat scenes. Drama scenes, you cannot have a battle or a combat scene without knowing the location of a player or their character, where they are at. That is a item that you have to get that is secret information. In order to do that, you have to do a drama scene first. Yes, you can gain information on characters who are not present in that scene, but you still have to roll. So, that said, we're now opening up for our drama scenes. This is our first round of drama scenes. Everybody will have the opportunity to do one. Characters may choose to do a drama scene together. That means that one of you can say, I would like to do a drama scene and I would like to have this character join me. But that character is allowed to say no. So, drama scenes participation has to be willing. So, that said, is there anybody in the group that would like to go ahead and do the first drama scene?
I'll do it.
Drama scene? Okay. Now, within a drama scene, it starts off, you are looking for, you can be doing three things. It's either going to be recovery if you've been harmed in combat, which combat obviously hasn't taken place yet. We're not going to worry about that. You can be gaining information. This is one of the secret things about one of the characters. That can be what their secret mission is, what their Ogi is, or what their location is. So obviously, we're not going to have a whole lot of rounds, so you have to be very selective in what information you're getting. The other thing you can do is get another character to come with you, and you can form an emotional bond with them.
Yeah.
So, that said, what are you going to be doing for your drama scene?
I think I'm going to fly solo, and I'm going to try to gather information. I want to see if I can figure out Sanosuke's secret.
Okay. So, here is a very specific moment that I need to make sure that everybody understands. Sanosuke, if he does receive your secret, if he does get it, only he can know it, which means you will have to find a way to message him your secret. But
All
we
right.
gotta hear what you're doing first. What exactly you are trying to look for his information on Sanosuke's secret? How would you describe your scene? What are you doing? This is the full cinematic idea. And I also want to remind my players that there are no roles involved in this game system except one per scene, and that is to the overall idea of what you're doing in that scene.
So I'm probably strolling into the area where the PTO meeting is happening.
Okay.
Uh, under the guise of I'm just there to take some of the food, try some of this mochi that I keep hearing so much about.
All right.
And I'm gonna
And
I'm
you
gonna be
also, I do also want to toss out as players, even as players, you can create NPCs to interact with. You don't have to rely on me. You can say, oh, I'm going to go talk to his wife, or oh, I'm going to go talk to this NPC that happens to work with him.
all right.
Just tossing that out there. Like I said, this game is a very interesting cinematic style game, and it's very rare to find anything like this.
All right. I'll talk to the head of the PTO. And under the guise of as a troublemaker, I'm bringing up concerns about all the troublemaking that's been going on recently. Kids smoking behind the school, littering. What are you guys doing about it? I see you guys meeting all the time. What's actually getting done, and who's supposed to be in charge of doing it?
Okay.
But with a lot of oi, oi, oi.
The head of the PTA is a woman in her early 30s. She has 2 children attending the school there. And she introduces you know her as Yamada-san. And she looks at you and is just like, well, we are investigating these things as you speak. We have recently put cameras around the school, and we will be reviewing the tapes once we have enough evidence and finding who the culprits are and expelling them.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that you guys are finally getting something done.
Mm.
But I mean, what is it all you guys do around here? Like that guy, and I'll point at Sanosuke. It's like I see him I see him attend every meeting. Very few parents do that. What's he supposed to be doing?
Oh, he's actually a part of the PTO board. He's a very important person. That is Sanosuke, and this points him out briefly. So, how are you going to go about? Are you basically going to chat her up? How are you going about the information gathering? Are you looking for rumor mongering? Tell me
Yeah.
what exactly are you thinking about doing?
Yeah, so I'm looking to see what like everybody here knows about him. And I'm essentially I'm starting with her, and then if she goes like, oh yeah, he works closely with like such and such people, it's like, all right, now I'm gonna go talk to those people and see if I can get a little bit more information.
Okay.
A lot of talking about him without talking to him.
All right. That said, you are starting off with your first scene. I'm going to double check my rules because I want to make sure that I do this right. But I'm on, like I said, was kind of fishing for here, and also to show my other players how to do this. I'm going to say you're looking for. I would say you're looking for the rumors, but at the same time, you're looking at specific information. So I'm actually going to say manipulation within the skill chart for scheming. Do you
Okay.
what skills do you have under scheming? Let's start with that.
Like highlighted or just at all?
Highlighted. They would have a circle around them, or they would be highlighted.
None.
None.
Yeah.
All right. What is the closest skill that you have to that?
It's closest skill.
Physically, yes. Physically,
Oh, okay.
in distance, what would be the closest skill?
Signal.
Signal, which is
Strategy.
strategy? All right. I'm looking. There we go. Okay. So the way this works is that I'm going to call for manipulation. That means that the next closest skill is 2 squares away that you have. So encryption and signal. So the base difficulty of this game is a 5. For every square past it of whatever skill I call for, it increases the threshold for success by 2. So that means 7 and then 9.
Interesting.
So you need to roll 2d6, and you're going to need to roll higher than a 9. But let me double check my numbers there really quick. I believe that is correct.
Okay.
But because otherwise,
That's fascinating.
All right. Well, I have my number when you're ready for it.
All right. Yes, you rolled 2d6. Just confirming.
Yep.
All right. So what did you roll?
10.
10. Okay. So you are successful in finding out the information. That means that Tuan, you are going to need to send him and only him your secrets.
All right
Uh,
then.
Are we friends on Discord?
No, but I
We-
could probably send you a direct message.
I just sent to add you as a friend, so that would
Woot.
make that easier.
Easy peasy. I will take care of that. And it's the one that you sent me earlier today, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Not tonight,
Well,
but like several weeks ago.
yes. I sent you your secret specifically.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The entirety of the secret?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember what the secret is, but I think that is correct.
All right. All right. I just sent it.
All right.
And so, more than likely, you are ushered out of the room by a few adults at some point. They're like, we got official business that we're trying to talk here. And they just kind of motion you towards the door and, scare you out. But you have gained your information.
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's heavy. It's heavy stuff. All right.
So, that said, what player wants to go next for their drama scene for the first round?
Oh, I did grab like 6 of those mochi balls and just shove them in my pocket.
Wonderful.
Well, he was quite the selfish character, wasn't he?
All right.
I'll go.
Okay. So, what is your goal? Where are you trying to go?
Okay, so I've been made aware that we have a troublemaker in our midst. Um, and that I need to protect my protector. So I guess I too will be going to pester Sinosuke. Um, but I'll wait till
Okay.
after the PTO meeting.
All right. Where
Yeah,
are
I
you going to
already
be
get
waiting for
rage.
him? Are you going to be waiting in
Um,
a car nearby? Are you going to go into the building?
I will be I'll be waiting outside the school. So as my little clique kind of walks themselves home for the day, I'm waiting for my ride. Um, but I'll be waiting for Sonosuke to get out of his PTO meeting.
Okay. Now that said, Sanosuke, are you willing to take part in this scene?
Sure.
Okay. So the PTO meeting will end, and Sanosuke, as you exit, you see uh, young Omi standing not too far away.
Hello, Miss Omi. How can I help you today?
Did you get like a funny message from Goro?
I did, and I haven't had a chance to look into it yet, but things will be attended to shortly.
Hmm.
Okay. So like, hmm,
So that
is
said, I'm gonna pause y'all just for a
mhm.
moment. What is your goal with this scene? Are you looking
I
for
think
info, or do you want to make an emotional bond with Sanosuke?
well, I don't think Sonosuke knows anything that I don't already know. At least that's what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would either be trying to make a plan to go hunt down some information for who our menace would be.
Okay. So you would be trying to go for info
Mhm.
on Sanosuke, or not Sanosuke, but on Jason?
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Or
And
do I
yours
have suspicion that Jason is our menace?
you could say that you're looking for his location, or you can go for just general information on him.
Okay. Let's go for general whereabouts. Like if we can guess he's a student, then I would like to know where he's at outside of school,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So that said, uh, yes, you are obviously aware, Sonosuke. But as you two talk, what is your plan?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
I didn't think that far ahead. So I guess my plan would be we could either scrounge around the school. Well, maybe not you because it would be a little weird, but I'd like to figure out who's got the squeeze on Jason. Who knows stuff about Jason?
Okay. Well, I'm going to say you know that there's an agent. So more than anything, you're looking for information on that, which will lead to his location. So
Okay.
let's go with analysis under strategy.
Okay.
Uh, do you
Let's.
do you have that skill?
I do not. The closest thing I have is domination, which is right next to it in sorcery.
Okay. So that is one square over. So that makes your difficulty a 7, rolling 2d6.
Okay. That is gonna be 11.
All right. So you know that this individual arrives from a certain way on a certain road to come to school daily. And so
Okay.
that is the information that you will gain in this scene. And are you going to share that information as well with Senosuke since he's in this scene with you?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so
So
both of you have that information. You can share, you can willingly share in a scene information you have. Also, if you have an emotional bond with somebody, it's kind of almost understood that you are going to be sending information that way.
Okay.
So there we go. That said, with this information and everything else, we have one person left this round who has something they need to do. So what are we going to be doing, Sonosuke?
Um, First off, I want to actually maybe have a continuation of that scene as my personal drama scene.
Okay, absolutely.
Um, and because as much as I need to attend to my the new information that I received from Mr. Goro, I still need to prioritize making sure that Omi is safe. And so he's would it be safe to assume that she's going to try to attend to this on her own? I
More
think
than likely.
then I would probably say, don't get any funny ideas now.
I don't think I
Uh,
have
My
any funny ideas.
my goal would be to convince Omi to not get in over her head and
okay.
maybe and at least not until I've had a chance to look into it a little bit more.
Okay. Now that said, what is your goal in this scene? Are you looking for info or an emotional bond with Omi? I do want to point out every character in this game, even the NPC Goro, has different secrets.
Hmm.
So all three of you plus an NPC have different secrets. You also have different Ogi. Now your Ogis also, if you know your enemy's Ogi, they cannot use it on you,
Hmm.
or you can attempt to try and cancel it.
And by no, because once it's done in play, most people could probably take a guess if they read the book. So by no, do they have to know like the actual type of ogi it is? Or do they just have to witness it?
They have gained information somehow on it. They have talked to somebody. They have maybe uh, seen you use it. They have found information on who your teacher was. Something has led them to know what your Ogi is, and they can attempt to stop you when you try to use it.
Okay.
So It's a nice little kind of Naruto-esque kind of thing, or even Dragon Ball Z. You know that "Ha! You only think you can defeat me" kind of moment.
I like it. That's cool.
Now, I would say that for the purposes of this scene, my goal is to form an emotional bond with Omi so as I can better protect her.
Okay. So emotional bonds are either positive or negative.
All right.
That means that you can either positively affect their emotion and they gain a bonus, basically a +1 bonus to their dice rolls when you are both in the scene together, or you can negatively affect their emotions. You can choose either one. But the thing is, we have to set the emotional bond, and this is just going to change the way you two relate to each other.
Uh huh.
So I need both of you to roll a d6.
All right.
And
Okay.
go ahead and tell me what y'all rolled. A 4,
5.
5? Okay, so Tuan, you may either choose that you have loyalty as your emotional bond to her or contempt. Meanwhile, for Omi, you may choose either admiration is your bond, your emotional bond to him, or inferiority. So you can either choose to have a positive or negative emotional bond with him.
Hmm. And do we have to announce this, or do we uh make a decision silently?
You make a decision, and it's going to affect the way you interact with this character from here on in. It's a weird thing that there is a game that's going to affect your role play, but again, it's the cinematic world, and it's like, boom, all of a sudden, oh, by the way,
There's
this
some
person's now your
rules.
rival.
Okay. Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
but
since it's
I was just curious. Do we actually have to announce which bond we choose?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
since it's your scene, do you want to announce first?
I will announce first. I'm going to go for loyalty.
Okay. So you feel a emotional bond of loyalty to her, and you will gain a +1 when you are both in scenes together. Or sorry, you will give her a +1 when you are both in scenes together.
Mm,
Now, that said, Omi,
I'm gonna pick admiration because most people just give me what I want, but he kind of
okay.
bosses me around a little bit, and I respect the guts.
All right. So you gain a +1, or Tuan would gain a +1 when he's in scenes with you to his rolls. So there is that. And of course, your emotional bond is now admiration with him. So how would y'all close out this scene?
I would probably Sanosuke would probably wish her good night and to get home safely. Um, and and they would part ways. I would want to do something immediately after she leaves my field of vision, but we can let her close out her end of it too.
I
Okay.
was just gonna say that to what you said earlier, I have no bad ideas, but I will be more thoughtful with how we approach this. And when my ride comes to pick me up, I'll say goodbye.
All right.
All right.
And after she leaves, I would say that Sanosuke has a couple of NPCs that he is closely associated with that are in the PTO with me to keep a close watch on her over the night.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say that they nod and the scene closes. We now are done with our first round, and I'm going to go to an intermittent scene where we see Goro, and he is kneeling in a room. Strange implements of various occult and occult, supernatural, and symbolic meaning are around him in this room, and he is in deep meditation. And in front of him suddenly winks into existence one of those bluish, greenish orbs of fire, and it hovers in the air in front of him, and he opens his eyes. It calls out to him and says, "Are you prepared?" And he nods. "The betrayal must take place." And he says, "I know. And I have set into motion everything. My plan is perfect. It will happen." And the flame kind of dims a little and then blazes even brighter and says, "It better. The Shinobigami cannot be freed without this act for this moon. We have our eye on you." And it says that, and the flame slowly disappears and the scene drifts to black. We're now going to go into our next series of scenes. Everybody gets the opportunity to do another scene now, and same options are available. Location, info, things of that nature, emotional bonds. So, with that said, who would like to go first?
I'll go ahead and go first if no one else is.
Okay. So, what kind of scene are we looking at?
Um, Another drama scene.
Okay.
I am hoping to learn the location of um Jason.
Okay. Now you actually did gain that information with Omi when you were in the scene with her. She
Okay,
gained the information through her act, and she was able to share it with you.
got it.
Also,
Okay, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Also, you both now have an emotional bond, and it's understood that information that you gain outside of a scene, you're probably going to share back and forth.
Sure. Okay, got it, got it, got it. All right. In that case, I want to know and since I already know his location, I would like to figure out what his secret is as well, since he's digging up dirt on me.
Okay. All right. So, how are you going to go about this? What are you going to do?
Um, I would want to have to explore his
Oh,
location. Oh, go on.
and I do want to say, as this is a drama scene, do you want to invite either player to also participate in it?
Not just yet, not for this one.
Okay, just making sure.
hmm In fact, I actually want to try it now that I know his location. I want to investigate his uh um I'm assuming when you say location, it's kind of like his normal like base of operations or something like that, or does that mean
It,
like
it
his?
it's a place where you know he is going to be ahead of time.
Got it.
If I remember correctly, you know the route I take to school in the
Got it.
morning,
Um,
or at least a street that I take.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would like to use some of my PTO agents to also be keeping eyes on that route as well to gather whatever little bits of information they're able to get um when Jason uses that route.
Okay,
And so I
and
guess in a sense that may include Jason in this scene. I'm not sure.
that is up to you, honestly. Again, this is a cinematic style game, and I can work with whatever you want to do, and also whether or not he wants to participate in it, because it is a
Sure.
drama scene. So, do you want to invite him into it?
Let's see. Ideally, no. I'm hoping that my agents are able to do this without catch bit making themselves aware to him.
Okay. So, with that said, I'm going to say that Hmm. We're going to go with contacts because you're using people within a strategy to find out information.
All right. So I don't have that one, but the next available one that I have that's close by is finances, which is one step away.
One step away. So your roll is a base 7.
Base 7, 2d6. I got a 7 right on the dot.
All right. And let me double check because I believe it is a meet or beat.
Okay.
But I do want to make sure of that before we go forward because that is a big deal with this game. It's not exactly something you want to mess up.
hmm Since this
Uh,
seems to be like a much lower numbers game.
yes. All right. So the player determines. They have 5. Roll dice. And sorry.
Nice.
And what was your total? You said right
7.
on the dot 7. Action. So yes, that is the way. You got it. So, what information were you trying to gain?
Trying to get his secret.
All right. Uh, I'm gonna say that your agents are able to backtrack quite a bit. This information takes a bit of time to gain. First, they find out, you know, a little bit more of who he is,
Mm,
and then they are pretty sure, you know, that what clan he represents or what group of ninjas he may represent and are able to piece together an idea of what that secret is.
all right.
And so, Stephen, if you can go ahead and send that his way.
Woo!
Is there?
Just learning each other's secrets.
All righty then.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and because we got a little bit of a time limit tonight, and I want to make sure everybody has enough time to do everything. We're gonna say that that's how your scene ends, is them presenting this information to you.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That said, who is next in our group? Who wants to do a drama scene, or are we going to get a battle scene, or what are y'all going to do?
Um, I kind of want to try a battle scene.
Okay. So
And
yeah, battle scenes require that that one of you knows the location. You do know his location, therefore you were able to intercept him on one of these days.
okay.
So that said, so Jason, what is the route that you take to school?
So there's me and my group of friends, which not big enough to be a gang, probably be more of just like a crew. Me and my two friends walk to school. We stop in at a particular corner store to get sodas and stuff for the walk. Couple like granola bars, whatever snacks. We
Okay.
tip we tend to show up late, but that's because we're bad kids.
Okay. So we'll say that it's going to take place at this you know, grocery store or this corner store. And you are waiting, or how do you go about trying to intercept?
So I have traps.
Hmm.
So as you're getting your snacks on in the department store and you're in an aisle by yourself, there's gonna be a uh little not very friendly, like think about like a teeny tiny little bear claw, but it's got like bunny ears or something on it to make it look fun. And it's just gonna snap at your hand.
Okay. And here's where things go from here. This item snaps at you, and you do, because this will be the opening into the game, into the battle. You yank your hand back and turn and look around, and you see her, and your eyes meet. And what basically combat is impending. Is there anything either you want to say before this goes down?
Yeah, I keep my eyes on her. I get a smug look on my face, and I just say, Yusuke, Tinga, you guys go on ahead. Catch up with you later.
Is there anything you're going to say?
I give his buds a minute to walk out because I'm not super duper mean. I'm just kind of mean. And I think the only thing I can think to say is just a quick warning. It's like to stop messing with my plans.
You don't even know what the plans are, do you?
Do you?
Yeah.
And we're going to stop it right there. No more dialogue. It's time for battle.
That's all that needs
So-
to be said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battle takes place on this little mat. What I'm going to be asking you to do is each one of you are going to take a d6, and you're going to pick a number on that d6. So each one of you need to start with that. Oh, by the way, I also have little bitty minis who are going to be
Ah,
representing of your characters to go on
Yes.
the sheet. But I need you to pick numbers that represent your characters in initiative. So one through 6, and this is going to get really interesting. This is going to be my first combat run for this game in actuality, so please bear with me if I mess it up a little bit. But I need you to pick a number. You're then going to both at the same time on the count of 3 show me the number on your camera. Whatever number you show me, that's what it's going to be. So pick a number 1 through 6. The slower you go, the lower your difficulty. The higher you go, the harder your difficulty. So yes, you could go super fast and show me a 6. And well, at that point, the issue is that you're starting at higher difficulty with that 6. And at the same time, your fumble goes up. Whatever your speed is also chooses at what point you fumble. If you show me a 6 and you roll a 6 or below, you're looking at fumbling. Which creates an effect. If you roll 1, if you're a 1, that means that's you're still at your lower difficulty, but you are 1. Sorry, and it doesn't change your difficulty. It changes your fumble. So going the slowest means that your fumble is the least. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
All
Sort
right.
of, but I think I'll pick it up as we go. Are
Yeah,
we
I kind
rolling
of
for
messed
this
up a little bit.
number?
No, you were going to just pick a random number or pick a number that you want to represent your initiative on a d6. The higher the number, the faster you go. The lower the number, the slower you go. But the higher the number, the higher your chance of fumbling. The lower your number, the lower your chance of fumbling.
Okay.
So on the count of 3, show me a d6 with a number. Ready?
Hmm.
So 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 and a 2. So you're going to be going at a 3, Justine, and Steven, you're going to be going at a 2. Now here's the fun part that I was going to save as a little bit of interesting moment. If your characters are not on the same space or next to each other on the initiative tracker, which right now one of you's at 2, one of you's at a 3. If you were further apart, you would only be able to fight using ranged weapons. The further apart you are, like say one of you chose 2 and one of you chose 5, you could not try to attack with a close range attack. You would have to use a ranged attack, and some ranged attacks don't have that a 3 range. Does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, this is also not a final combat scene. That means the first person to get hit, combat ends. that person lost. Alrighty. So that said, what attack are you going to be using? Uh, so a lot of times, usually it's the close combat option, but because that has a range of 1. But what are you going to actually attack with? You can always choose something else. You can also choose an Ogie.
Let's see. So it wouldn't be ideal to use ranged because we're right up in each other's grill, right?
Yeah, unless your range, lists that you can attack someone in space 1. Yeah,
Mm,
but there is no penalty in this. I do want to make sure that's understood.
Okay. It is a ranged combat attack. It doesn't have a number under ranged,
Okay.
if that makes sense. And
Yes.
it does kind of area damage to everybody, including myself.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
that said, what is your attack called?
Meteor shower. It's very
Okay.
cool.
So, does it have a description of what's going to take place?
Yes. All characters within this Ninpo's range, including myself, are targets for this attack. Deal 1 ranged combat damage to each target by this attack.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your skill. Or you
Okay.
need to roll your I think it is 2d6.
Right. So this falls under summoning, which I have. Um, that is a 6 and a 1, 7.
All right. So that sets your skill at a 7. And so that means that in order to dodge, you need to roll against that.
Can I use ninja gear?
Uh Technically yes, but
Ooh.
what ninja gear are you going to use?
Prayer seal. When someone other than you has attempted an action resolution, reroll.
All right, so you basically grab out a bead and crush it in your hand. And so you're going to need to roll again, Justine.
Okay. This time it's a 10.
Damn,
Okay.
it's good. I want it to be hard.
Okay, well there you go. It's hard now. So that was a
Cool.
summoning under sorcery, correct?
Mhm.
All right. So that means that you have to also roll summoning sorcery. Base difficulty is a 10. Do you have summoning?
See, I don't,
Okay.
but I have
So
one that's 2 away.
2 away, so that would change it to a 14, which is an impossible roll.
Yeah,
So, you want me to
yeah.
go ahead and narrate this for a moment?
Unless I can use another prayer seal.
I'm gonna say that items are 1 use per round. So
That's
next round
fair.
you'd be able to use a different one.
All right.
So Omi waits for your friends to leave, and they go a bit away, and the combat ensues. She moves with with higher speed than you. Who knows? Maybe this didn't expect as much. What was going on? But she uses dark magic and sorcery, and all of a sudden, this attack, this kind of burst forth from her, and it's almost like an explosion. I will say both of you do take 1 wound that you will have to recover from, and how you react to that at this point? Combat is now over. Uh,
That's great.
and yeah, but this is the way pre-big climactic battles go. You are wounded, but you have the option to monologue and get away.
I didn't think you'd have that kind of power.
I just
Oh well.
flip my hair.
Seems you don't have much control though.
No, that kind of like did what I wanted it to do.
You hurt yourself just as much as you hurt me though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your character,
I confusedly exit the scene.
yeah, jump out the window and run up the side of a building. Naruto running. How's that sound?
No, I just casually walk out the front door.
Oh, there you go.
Like the you just hear the convenience door jingle with the bell. The person behind the counter very politely, like, just says thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please come again.
All right. So that combat has ended, and what were you hoping to get in that combat scene? Combat scenes, you could form an emotional bond, or you could get information.
I was wanting to, more than anything, kind of scare
Oh,
him into backing down. So I guess that counts as maybe an emotional bond of sorts.
yeah, let's go ahead and have you two form an emotional bond. Go ahead and roll a d6, both of you.
Roll a 2.
All right. So that means, Jason, you may choose either friendship or anger as your emotional bond to Omi.
I choose anger.
Okay. So that means in scenes with her,
Okay.
you now impose a -1 on her. And then, Omi, what are you going to roll?
4.
So you may choose loyalty or contempt.
I think contempt kind of makes sense.
All right. So you are
Given
now
what we just did.
you now have a you affect him with a -1 when you two are both in a scene together. So it kind of goes both ways on that one. That said, who is next? What are we doing next? I think that means players that have had a scene called. That was Sonosuke and Omi. Y'all both have had scenes, correct?
Yeah, only Jason hasn't had a scene this
Yeah.
round.
So, Jason, what are you going to have for your scene this round?
All right, I want to do a drama scene where I attempt to find the location of Sinosuke.
Okay. Are you going to do this scene by yourself, or are you going to try and are you inviting anyone else into it?
I'm gonna do it by myself.
Okay.
Um,
What
I
are you
saw
doing
that
to go about it?
I saw that he's a salary man. I'm sure that on the PTO records he probably has a listed workplace with contact info.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to get a hold of those records
Hmm.
and
Interesting. So,
learn where he works.
all right. So I'm going to say with that, based off your description, I'm saying that's an infiltration under stealth.
Okay, I got one that's my closest is ventriloquism, which is 3 down.
All right. So that puts your difficulty at an 11, I believe. Is that correct? If that's 3 down, yeah, from infiltration.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's do it.
All right.
I'm gonna use my second ninja tool. I'm gonna use the Soma pill. When you have attempted an action resolution, re-roll. Because I rolled a 4 and I don't want a 4.
Okay.
There we go. That's a 12.
Oh, so you rolled
Nice.
double sixes.
Nice.
All right. So technically that is a critical, which in this scene really won't have as much of an effect, but being the kind of GM that I am, I'm going to say that you will also gain that health point that you lost back.
Sweet.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were going to have me disclose my Ogi to him, too.
No, no, no. You are able to figure out where he works and where he lives.
All right. Cool.
Rude. I'm the stalker.
I wanna use my Nimpo now. The
Oh,
Nimpo that I have called Blitzkrieg.
Oh, no.
what exactly does this Nimpo allow you to automatically go into another scene?
You may use this during a drama scene in which you are the scene player when you have just learned a character's location. On a successful skill check of this Nimpo's skill, you may begin a combat scene with that character.
All right, so
Ooh.
So what's the
roll your
assigned skill
Nimpo.
on the Blitzkrieg?
Signal. which I have as one of my abilities.
All right. So
Can I also have another Nimpo called Heart of the Battlefield. Can I only use one per scene?
one per round. Yes.
One per round. Okay. Okay. And I'll save that one. I'll use Blitzkrieg. I have to make a signal check and I have to pass, and then I can fight this boy. Man, he's a man.
It's adult and these two children.
I can fight this adult. All right, I rolled a 6.
All right. I believe that is a base success. I want to make sure. Again, first time we're doing this with an impo, a drama scene impo. All right. Overall support impo. Scene player of a drama scene. Impo without distinction may not be used. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be your standard, the way it is written up. It's a standard check. So you rolled what?
I rolled a 6, and I have the skill.
There you go. So you are successful, and Blitzkrieg works. You've gained his location, and where are you jumping him?
In his office.
Okay, bursting
come out
through
of a
tiles in
player.
the roof, or where are you coming out of?
No, I'm gonna walk into his office, slam my hand on his desk, and say, "Excuse me, sir." And then so I'll say, "Excuse me, sir," and then slam my hand down. I'd like to file a complaint.
All right. So we are again in a combat scene. So we've got our street thug and we've got our salaryman. So I need to know where we're going to do initiative again. So that means within this system, I need you to show me 1 through 6 on a D6. Pick your number, and I'm going to count to 3 and show it to the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So I've got both of y'all on 3. So,
Number.
this is a weird one. I believe this system, when y'all have the same initiative, I believe y'all go off simultaneously. I don't believe that there's anything odd about it. So you both will be able to make an attack and a defense at the same time. So, that said, who does somebody specifically want to go first? And do y'all mind? I mean, it's going to happen at the same time. Who wants to give me their action first?
I assume since I stormed in and did my dramatic thing, that I'll, if Twan's okay with it, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
All right.
That's fine.
So go ahead and
Since we're on the same square and I can use close combat, I am going to use a close combat attack where I essentially want to punch his desk in half and then try to punch him in the face while he's still sitting.
Okay, so using close combat specifically?
Yeah.
All right, so that is go ahead and roll the skill with that.
Skill is engineering.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rolled 8.
8. So that goes to you now, Tuan. Go ahead and get that one out of the way.
All right. So for my defense, or
Yeah, you
for
get to roll engineering as well for whatever skill the attacker uses.
Yeah.
The defender uses the same skill.
Sure.
So-
Where is whoa, engineering. All right. So next closest one is shuriken, which is 1, 2, 3 away. So that brings it up to a base skill of 11, right? That I have to hit.
I believe so.
Ugh. And 2d6. All right. 9. I do not get it.
Okay, but you still have your attack as well.
Mm-hmm.
So his will go off and do 1 point of damage, but yours,
Right.
yeah.
I think that would actually make it 12 since I rolled an 8 and it goes up by 2 every time.
Oh, okay, yes. So either way, he did not
But-
succeed, but you did
yeah.
hit. But your
Right.
initiative is the same, so
And let's see. So an attack is any of the ninpo that I have, right?
any Nimpo, or if you have an attack Ogi, you can also use that.
I'm not going to do that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and how do we determine range?
The spaces apart you are on the velocity system track.
All right.
You are both close range right now. I think you can also use ranged attacks, but yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the. So I can do a range attack.
Yes.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. I have range attack shuriken,
Okay.
and
All right.
so, and
Go
I
ahead and
do
make your
have that
roll.
as my highlighted. So that is going to be a 7.
7 does hit. Or actually, sorry, 7 would be a hit any other time. But you that means that, Steven, you get to defend if you have Shuriken at 7.
See, I don't, but so my closest will be engineering, which is 3 away, so that makes it 11.
So
check.
7, 8, 9 to pyromancy. Hydromancy makes it 9. Sorry, 7, 8,
That
9.
would be 13,
Right,
right?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes.
Oh, okay. So then it
So-
would have been impossible for you to defend against my attack last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y-
And that
neither
makes
wa-
it impossible for me to defend against his.
Yes.
Yep.
So with a furious blow to the desk, you break open the desk and strike out at him. Meanwhile, he stands up and throws the shuriken into you. So you both take damage.
In this case, just for thematics, can
Mm-hmm.
we say that the shuriken that I threw are actually disguised as paperweights on my desk?
Sure.
Because salaryman, I can't have dangerous objects all around me.
But you have a stapler that you can like pop,
It's a
pop,
yeah,
pop.
basically, it's a combat stapler.
All staplers are combat.
Yeah.
All right. So the scene then will end with you both taking damage. Is
Yeah.
there any sort of phrase that you both are going to use?
Is
Because
that- is
technically,
that-
y'all both have lost the scene. Nobody's
Mhm.
gaining anything from this.
Nope.
Is that the end of the round?
That is the end of the round.
Okay, can I use a Nimpo that is used at the end of a round?
Let me double check. I believe technically yes. Even in this special circumstance, I believe you can. What is the Nimpo?
Guidance. It costs
And what-
2. I don't know what that means.
We'll look that up during break. But what
Okay.
does it do specifically?
I can use this Nimpo at the end of a round. On a successful skill check of this Nimpo's skill, I may change the battlefield to another of my choice. If 2 people use the
Oh.
guidance in one round, the player who rolled highest chooses the battlefield. In addition, if the extreme battlefield is chosen, the battlefield effect happens immediately.
Interesting. Is that what you're wanting to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take this to the street, boy.
Well, that's unfortunately not how extreme works. So, wow. Let's say this is gonna get really interesting really quickly. Is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is kind of neat thematically. You grab a hold of him, both of y'all taking damage, and you tumble out the window of his office.
Oh no.
Uh,
That's good. That was my plan.
As you tumble through the air, you see the ground rushing up to meet you. It splits open, and you both fall into a fissure where it closes up behind you, and you are surrounded by lava. You have dragged him into kind of a brief parallel dimension.
With a nervous look on my face while we fall through the fissure, I also say, "This is fine. This is part of the plan."
You don't have a plan.
You both will take 2 points of damage because that is the effect of an extreme environment.
Okay, how much health do we have?
That should be on your sheet.
Is it the 6 points?
Yes.
Points that are aside the skill matrix.
I will. Yes. So the thing next to the category title are life point. So all the different little things on your sheet that have like a little square, the little white things, those are your life points.
Okay. So we've both taken 3 damage.
Yes. And that said, you took damage within the where whatever the skill test was, you took that damage to that skill. So I forgot about this part. So like I said, first time running this game. So as you take damage within a skill or in a skill category, that category that you took damage in, like if Toan used Shuriken, which is a martial arts, you just took damage in that, and from him. So that means the damage applies to martial arts, and you also would lose the ability to use the skill Shuriken.
All right.
For Jason, and for Toan, you would lose 1 point from the tech field because he used engineering.
All right.
And that would deny you the use of a skill in engineering or the skill engineering. So
Okay.
It's kind of a weird system, but that's how they track life points, is that life points affect your skills and deny you skills as combat continues. Once you lose 1 skill in a skill category, you cannot lose any more. But it basically slowly depletes your skills that you can use in combat or in drama scenes.
All right. And so since we took 2 damage from the environment, does that mean we get to allocate those to whichever skill column we wish?
Yes.
All right. Can we put it onto a skill column that doesn't that we have no skills highlighted in?
Yes, as long as you have points there that it can take down.
Okay, so if it's at 0, then you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
So that said, are you going to try and battle him for 1 round in hell, or this otherworldly dimension?
Why not?
So what I will say is, we'll go ahead and pause here, and we're going to go ahead and take a brief break, and we will be back. I'm going to double check some rules, and yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Sound good, everybody? All right. The battle continues in hell. All right. And we are back. So, thank you everyone for tuning in for today's game of Shinobigami. I want to go ahead and we're going to address a couple rule clarifications. Again, first time running the system, first time having any of this actually occur. I love the system, but you're going to make mistakes when you do this the first time. That said, my mistake was dealing with damage and also understanding Nimpo. So we're going to take care of that really quick. So damage in of itself, it doesn't just deny a skill; it denies a category. And so close combat's supposed to be at random. I believe that's what you said, correct, Tuan? When we looked this up.
Yes, and so because it's a close combat attack, it deals close combat damage, where the recipient rolls a d6, and that determines what category loses a life point, and then that category gets completely closed off.
And then the ranged combat one, which was what yours
Um,
with the shuriken.
yes, the recipient of it gets to choose which category they assign the life point damage to.
And there we go. So hopefully we now have that a little better figured out. And I'll also say choose for the environmental damage that was taken with the going into the extreme environment. That said, also really touching on this quickly, Nimpo. So Nimpo, there are multiple Nimpos, and they can be used in succession in combat, but the cost that is listed is a cost using your plot or your velocity system. So if you have let's say, if you have set your plot or your velocity system ranking at the beginning of a round at 3, and the cost of the Nimpo that you want to use is 4 or 5, that is higher than your plot points, and it can't be used. So if you are at a rank 3 in your plot, then you can only use 3 or lower cost Ninpo. And once those points are gone, you cannot use any other Ninpo. So if you were at a 3, you could use one that's a 2 and one that is a 1, as long as they are, as long as the effects make sense. Does that make sense now to everybody?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. So, getting back into our story, we have two characters that have somehow mysteriously, with the great powers of ninjutsu, ripped open a hole in reality and fallen into some sort of underworld where they are fighting amongst lava. Uh so much fun. This game is over the top and I love it. That said, you both stand up and measure each other a little bit. Uh And now we are into a round of combat. Is there anything you want to say to each other before you continue?
How do you like my technique, old man?
What technique? This is pure randomness. This is chaos.
Can't you see that I pulled you here?
By accident, I assume.
I'm very confident on the outside, but the back of my head is sweating.
Okay.
That's the best.
So we are back into a state of initiative. Go ahead and show me a d6 on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So I've got a 6 and I've got a 2. And there we go. Let me make sure. There we go. All right. So here we go. We've got initiative. You've got a 6 starting off for Jason, and you've got a 2 going for Sanosuke.
Sanosuke.
So Jason, you go first. You have something that can hit. That's going to be at range 1, 2, 3, 4.
I want to use my Ogi.
Okay.
I picked. Do I say which one I picked? I guess everyone will know what it is.
Well, they'll know, but they do not know. They
Right.
haven't taken the time to understand it, so they don't gain any bonuses.
Yeah. So I don't have a ranged attack at all. So I'm choosing to use critical hit because the way it's worded.
Mhm.
This Ogi is used in place of an attack. Choose a character that is within 1 plot value. So never mind. I can't do anything. actually.
Yeah.
This is a bad
So, but
situation for me. So I do nothing.
you are moving quickly through through this terrain, jumping all around. Your speed is described as light speed. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess
And
I'll use Heart of the Battlefield because it's the only thing I can use. Uh,
okay.
and so I select a battlefield, and in that battlefield, all my rolls receive +1. So I select this battlefield.
Okay. That said, going over to Toan for the character Sanosuke, do you have a attack that can reach a range of 4?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost my ranged attack because the close combat damage that I took out my martial arts life points. So no more shuriken for the moment.
Okay. All right. You are on round 2, an extreme environment. I get to roll. And as long as at this point, I was saying that because of where you landed and falling out of a window, that the damage you took earlier was for that. This is technically your first round of combat in this location. You do not take any damage from the environment this round.
All right.
So, just also a heads up, 'cause I
Mhm.
didn't know if that was going to be a thing. With Heart of the Battlefield, all effects of that battlefield do not affect you.
Wow. Okay.
That's
That
pretty
said, go ahead and show me a new D6. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. So I've got a 3 and I've got a 2, which means y'all are going to be close enough to do something. But that does put Sanosuke at the faster speed. So Sanosuke.
Oh, I thought it was
I'm sorry,
at
not
2, and
Sanosuke.
yeah, Jason's at
Jason.
3.
Jason.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to use critical hit,
Okay.
which
It
will-
is an Ogi. Go ahead and give me a description of what we're seeing.
So I'm going to decide that this is happening on this battlefield. Uh, in the lava, around us, because it's Mustafar as hell up in this place. There are like lava rocks that are like bubbling and launching out of the lava pits,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna run by one of them and like really cool flip soccer kick at his head.
Okay. Now the thing is with Ogis are automatic hits. So it is automatically going to strike you.
So
And what's the damage on that?
I choose 4 categories at random by rolling a dice. That target marks those life points as lost. If a category is chosen where the life point has already been marked, the target may choose which remaining category is marked instead. And I
Okay.
believe that we've both already taken 3 damage, which
Mhm.
means he doesn't have 4 categories to do. You still want me to roll for fun?
Okay.
But he takes 4 damage unless he does something in response.
Am I allowed to counter that?
Uh, technically no, but
Right.
because Ogis are always hits. That's
Got
the
it.
downside to Ogis.
All right.
But if you two want to work that out somehow,
No, I'm fine. I'm fine being defeated.
all right. So you are struck by this ball of lava, and it does a great deal of damage to you. And you are a hand seems to coalesce and grab each one of you, and it says, "Enough. Your parts will be played," and it pulls you both back through the underworld in opposing directions, and you emerge out on the streets, not too far from where you were. But the thing is that Sonosuke, you are
Mm-hmm.
gravely injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that somebody finds you and an ambulance is called for you. And you hear the sound of sirens in distance, Jason.
All right. I run away, and as the camera watches me run home, you see that the back of my tracksuit is completely burned off, and you just see my heart boxers.
That said, though, this is technically that was a battle scene. That means that you may you may gain something that's an emotion, an emotional bond with him. You can gain info of some sort, location or a secret, or which you've already got technically on both. Or you can choose a prize.
I choose a prize. I want a prize.
All right. So you are going to take something from him.
Yeah, I got his #1 businessman award.
It could also be a piece of ninja gear.
I guess that would be better.
Your choice. I will let that go.
I'll take. Is it one of his ninja gear?
Yes.
Okay. What did you put that you had?
I have one of everything.
Okay, I'll take your prayer seal.
All right. There we go.
Okay.
Rude.
So that said, that is the end of the second round. We are back into we're going to do one more phase, but this time we're going to use another mechanic that's a part of this game. It's called the scene chart. And you tell me what kind of scene you want to do. You tell me if you want to invite anyone into it or if you're challenging someone. And then the other part of it is I'm going to roll and tell you what kind of scene it is. Because there's other things that could be going on. So that said, who would like to either have a drama or combat scene? And obviously also, Omi, you are aware that Sanosuke was attacked and is badly burned and is in the hospital.
Yay.
Right.
Mm,
I just went, so I'll relinquish if one of you guys want to go first.
Who went first last time?
I did.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Sure, since I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, that seems fair. Dang.
What kind of scene are we looking at?
I really want to put another wall up and down, but I guess I need to go check up on Sanosuke.
So you want to do a
Uh,
drama scene with Sanosuke?
I think that would probably be the most appropriate thematically, yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to say that after this round, what time are we cutting off tonight? I think we're going for another another hour. So we may go ahead and go to the big climax after this round. Or I can give y'all an extra one, but where are y'all at? Could y'all go for a little bit extra?
I don't have any plans today.
I do
I'm
have
fine.
plans,
Okay, then
honestly. So
after this round, we're going to be going into the big climax.
Cool.
And that's one more scene for each of us, or after this scene?
One more scene for each of you.
Okay.
So, that said, so you wanted to do a drama scene with Sanosuke? Yes?
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
that's the most appropriate.
I'm going to roll 2d6 on the scene chart. So, you rolled a 3, or I rolled a 3. Is this a dream? What's done is done, and yet I can never forget what happened, is the theme of this scene. So that kind of opens it up. Do you want to be in a dream with both of you, or do you want it to actually be you're in the hospital with him and this doesn't seem real?
I think I want to be in the hospital with him and it doesn't seem real.
Okay. He is I'm gonna say slightly conscious. A morphine drip is providing him with, you know, hit overcoming the pain, and at the same time, I will say, there's something in there that's helping to keep him conscious. Other than that, it is your standard hospital room. He, the your commanding officer Goro has provided you with a private room and paid extra for you. So you are the only patient in this room. But other than that, it has the standard, tile floors, fake tile roof. That kind of, they usually have them in hospitals that where it looks like it's almost plastic. The walls and the furniture in here is that particle board or at least laminated top furniture. Obviously, makes it easier for cleanings and thing of that nature. But you're in there, the hospital bed, all the equipment hooked up to him, maintaining and checking his vitals. And that is where we find you. So what are you doing?
Well, I assume Sanosuke is just kind of laying there. Um, I put my prayer bead, or not my bead of life in his hand, and I just kind of crunch it. So I give that to him. I don't know if that's enough to kind of bring him back to full consciousness or not, but
It's
um,
one lost life point. So it gives him 1 point back.
yeah.
Blink.
So I did exactly what you told me not to do. And I know that you told me not to do it because you were concerned about me. And like, I did a really awesome job, like punching his face in with some magic meteors. But then it kind of didn't work out so good for you. And I don't think you can really hear me, but I just want to say that I'm sorry. Really, really, really sorry. 'Cause that wasn't, I didn't think about what would happen to other people. And I want you to stay alive.
Can I regain consciousness at this point for a brief
Uh,
moment?
yes, absolutely. I said that the medicine you're on a morphine drip and something that's helping you to be somewhat aware.
And I very wearily and painedly say, "You got lucky. This is the extent of what he could have done to you. Don't make that same mistake again."
Okay. Now, is there anything you're trying to gain information wise for Omi? He is in the scene with you. You can't gain another an emotional bond with him.
Okay.
Uh, but you could gain information such as secrets and things like of that nature.
Yeah. So just kind of taking the time to look over what injuries he's acquired. Looks like he's been to hell and back. Haha. um, I I'd like to see if I could take any of that uh info and see if it helps me kind of determine um what Jason's packing like heat wise. Like I don't
Oh,
know if that lets me.
are you going to go after Jason's secret, or are you going to go after Sanosuke's secrets?
I think I'm more interested in Jason's secret because to me he's still the enemy.
Okay.
You looking for my secret or my ogi?
Oh, I'm kind of going after, I guess, your Ogi
Okay.
because I'm looking to
So,
see what damage you caused.
all right. So I'm going to say, hmm, looking over what has happened, I'm gonna say this is going to be an analysis test with strategy.
Ooh, let's see. Okay. I have the closest thing I have is domination, which is 1 over.
Okay, so that'll raise the test to a 7.
Okay.
And yeah, so roll your
Uh,
dice. What's up?
so I was just reading over the Ogi.
Mhm.
It says under here, once an Ogi is invoked, all characters present in the scene become aware of the Ogi's details.
Oh,
Oh,
so you are aware of it, and technically you could transfer that knowledge to you both being in the same scene.
Since we have that emotional bond together, right?
Yes, yes.
okay. So I could
Uh,
Wait,
technically.
okay, yeah, I think so.
so instead, you might be going for his secrets, or again, uh, you can go for either of their secrets or their ogi, because I don't think you know either of the, or sorry, secrets at this point.
Okay, well, let's do secrets then. Does that still follow under analysis?
Uh, so instead now, hmm, because you are trying to find out informations, Sonosuke is not there. You're kind of trying to figure out what his motivations are for what he's doing. It's like, why did this happen? What is he doing? You might talk to a few of the contacts that Sanosuke has within the corporation or within the clan. I'm going to actually say that you are looking more into well, actually, does that sound good? Is that what you're doing, or how would you like to go about this?
Yeah, I think so. If I wanted to kind of deeper dive into his secrets, I think I'm gonna have to seek other people
Okay.
who he's been talking
At
to.
which point, you're going to be looking into talking to others, which
Hmm.
is going to be investigation.
Okay, let's see. Where does that fall under?
Investigation is in scheming, and
Okay.
it's row 5.
Okay, it is. I have trap, which is one above it.
Mhm. All right,
So,
so
okay.
that's a 7.
Oh, it is an 8.
Uh, so she learns your secret, or actually, doesn't she? She should already know your secret. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Because that you had his secret, didn't you, Tuan?
No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do know his secret now because again, the emotional bond. Yes,
Yep.
yeah,
So
that emotional.
instead, like I said, first time running this game, trying to figure this all out.
That's okay.
Uh,
Since
and again, this is for fun.
since both
Uh,
people know it, I'm just gonna throw it up there for everyone to read.
yep.
Yeah.
Should we say it for the viewers to see?
Oh, they don't know it.
Should we?
Yeah.
They didn't roll dice. They
I'll
didn't
go.
put in the work.
I'll go ahead and toss it out there for the players, for our audience to know, and that is that he knows that the spiritual forces are aligning to open a gate for to the Shinobigami. He is very certain that the bloodline of Oni is involved, and you know that they will need a specific sword, the Ashen Blade, to ultimately succeed somehow. And you should investigate and learn more.
He has been investigating and he has learned a lot.
So I've just confirmed that he's our so-called our menace.
Yeah, but this is information you should have already had.
Mhm.
Again, we're trying to figure this out and learn. Instead, you can, and I keep forgetting, you can also learn information about the NPC, or you can learn information about Sonosuke.
Let's see what Goro is about because
Mm.
I would imagine that Sanosuke he's thrifty enough to have his guys do a little bit of networking and have tabs, even if maybe not even maliciously so, on somebody like Goro potentially. So could I apply that to
Oh yeah.
going after
You
Goro?
Let's use that investigation roll. What did you roll?
It was an 8.
8. All right. And he rolled a 10.
Dang it.
So you do not gain that information.
My head hurts.
But obviously, there's a lot more going on that now we do know. So that means Jason. What are you going to do?
I want to do a drama scene.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to invite Omi into this scene.
Okay. So where is this scene going to take place?
Probably at the school, but at night. Kind of in the back area where I'm normally smoking my cigarettes.
Okay. Omi, are you okay with doing a drama scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
So she found a note in her locker that tells her to meet me here. But I didn't address it.
There we go.
It smells like cigarettes, so.
In the American localization, it smells like lollipops.
The kids WB version.
Yeah.
This would be the 4 kids translation, actually. Oh, 4
Okay.
kids.
So you arrive at the bleachers. He is there, pacing and smoking, I guess. And the scene takes off. However, y'all describe.
I'm sitting on a barrel that's there for some reason, half in shadow. And when she appears, I lean out of the shadow, still looking pretty beat up from earlier in the day, but wearing a different tracksuit.
Okay.
Is that a barrel?
Yeah. Yeah, they just left it here for some reason. That's not why I called you here, though.
Yeah.
To show you, I didn't just call you here to show you this really cool barrel I found.
Jason's very awkward.
Cool, because I didn't want to see your stupid barrel.
Look, I know you and I have our differences, right? And yeah, earlier today, you pissed me off. But I got something important to show you.
Very
Take
apprehensive.
it you understand. I take it you've probably done some digging. And you found out that I'm not just a regular high school delinquent. Truth
Yeah,
is, truth is, I came here to find out some info. And I found this, and I pull out. I like unzip part of my track jacket and pull out like a manila envelope. I'm wearing an undershirt. You don't got to do that. And I toss it at you all cool.
Catch it? No. Open it like away from my face.
And inside of the manila envelope, if you read the contents, is going to essentially be what I have to have found out Sanosuke's secret.
And since this is revealing the secret to everybody, you can go ahead and tell us what it says.
So Sanosuke is the bodyguard, and it is his duty, as he knows, to protect Justine's character because she is needed as a special sacrifice to open the gate of the Shinobigami. He can decide how he feels about it.
Interesting.
He hasn't told me how he feels about it, but he got to decide.
He got to decide?
Yeah. And in the text, it says you get to decide how you feel about it.
Oh.
Well,
I just copied and pasted from yeah.
So I didn't learn how he felt. I didn't learn how he felt about it. I just know that that's what he knows. So you see, your dog who was supposed to protect you, you're really just trying to kill you. So is your clan, and I'll take a drag of my cigarette. And blow the smoke out of my mouth. Oh, cool.
Well, the clan thing
as
doesn't
opposed
surprise
to
me.
Oh, I know. I know we have our differences, and yeah, we got into a fight earlier today. But I don't want to see you die. Not for something like this. Do with this information what you will. And then I lean back into the barrel again. Disappear.
That said, though, what was the information you're trying to gain? You've already got an emotional. Do you have an emotional bond with her yet?
We do because of the
We
fight.
do a negative.
Yeah.
We have a
Negative,
negative
yeah.
emotional bond.
Do you want to gain information on a location or secrets,
You know what?
or
I'll probably back
or
away.
her ogi?
I'll back away into the shadows and see if I can learn her secret.
Okay. So obviously, backing into the shadows is going to be kind of a stealth move, hoping that you overhear her. I'm going to say, let's go with invisibility.
All right, I have ventriloquism.
Okay, so one away is puts you at a 7, and so whatever you roll on your dice, you have a negative emotional bond with her, so you're going to lose 1.
Yeah, so that is an 8. So that brings me to 7.
Okay. So, you want to send him your secrets?
Yeah, this will be interesting.
You got it?
Oh damn! Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
All right. So, that said, Tuan, have you had your scene yet?
No, not yet.
Your turn then, sir.
All right, then. I would like to have a scene with Mr. Goro.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I am assuming
He
he
will
has a secret of
accept.
his own.
Yes, he does.
Oh, you didn't roll your dice for our scene.
Oh, well,
Where we
a
Wait,
little
for
bit
your-
late. Let me see. It would have been a 9. Heavy rain begins to pour down. People pull out their umbrellas and begin to mad dash for cover. So it was also raining while you were outside.
All right,
Appropriate for the scene.
I used ninja magic to keep my cigarette lit.
I was about to say.
All right. So that said, we'll go ahead and roll for the scene with Goro. And I rolled a 4, which is buildings stretch out in rows before you. From here, you can see across the whole city. So how about we do this on top of the hospital?
Yeah, we're in the. I have gotten healed up enough to get out of my bed, and I'm just having a breather on the rooftop.
All right. So this brings up a really hard question if you're ready.
Let's hear it.
Do you want to do a recovery scene where you recover 1 health point after this? Or do you want to go for information and learn his secret or location for Goro?
Oh, information.
All right.
And so I have a plan for that. So I have my own beat of life, which I'm going to take. I can
Mhm.
take that at any time, right?
Yes.
Right. And I got the one from Omi, so I'm at 2 right now. And sometime in this scene, I want to use my resupply ninpo
Mm-hmm.
to recover my beat of life and then use it immediately. So can I
Okay.
go ahead and roll that real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, so that is going to be finances, and I just need to hit a 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a 9 on that.
Okay. You got it back. Using it
Alright.
immediately, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And so now that we're done with the healing, let's go ahead and have a little chat with Mr. Goro because I want to know his secrets.
Okay. So, Mr. Goro meets you on the rooftop and is rather stern, but he's looking at you. Well, it looks like you perhaps did fulfill part of your duty.
Well, I at least took the brunt of his assault. So, as you can
And
see, she's not much worse for wear.
and we now know his location. Well, at
Mm-hmm.
least we know a little bit. We know who he is, and we know where we can find him. So, you've done that part as well.
Are we all good to go on the next part of the plan?
Oh yes, most certainly.
In which case, I would be very much appreciative if you could fill me in on the final stages.
Okay, how are you going to go about this? You're looking for his secret. What is your
Mhm.
goal?
I am
Uh,
trying to
I'm
learn
feeling
his
like you're trying
secret.
to manipulate him, perhaps.
I'm trying to use seduction to just kind of be like, we're friends, we're buddies, we've been working on this for a while. We're you know,
I want to double check. I mean, I'm usually the kind of GM that would be like, yeah, sure, seduction, but I'm going to double check the write up on the skill.
yeah. I remember they specifically said that seduction is not necessarily seduction, but it is kind of like using pathos to kind of buddy up to somebody.
Okay.
You could
But
show a little leg if you wanted.
I
Okay.
mean, if he's more than interested in
Yeah.
middle aged.
Go ahead and roll. So it's 2d6. And he
2d6.
have that. He is.
I have an 8 on that.
You did better than him. He rolled a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're going into the final scene, I'll go ahead and let this drop. Well, actually, I can't because this is a big one.
Okay. Yeah.
I am going to send it to you.
Exciting.
I believe I should be able to just message here. He will say, however, before he tells you, you have been trustworthy and you have proven yourself. I think you are prepared to help with the final step. And I will tell you this much as well. This must be done with this blade. And he hands you a short sword.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty then.
And there you go. It's on its way to you.
Mm-hmm. 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 Alrighty then. Good to know. Good to know.
Have Omi meet me at the school.
Will she be the one performing this?
That is a good question. The table has been set. All the pieces have been moved into place. It's time to see how fate plays out. And that said, we're going to go to our final scene. Is everybody ready?
Hooray!
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
stand. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You stand, all of you, upon the top of a building in Japan, the school that you have all attended to some extent. Looking out, you notice that the gardens and the pathways and all the walkways looking over the edge of the building have all actually been a esoteric and mystical symbol. And on the top of this building is now an altar. And all of you stand there having arrived, and Goro is there as well, standing before you. And tell me, how do you all arrive at the scene? Let's go ahead and go there.
So I'm standing like on the tallest point,
Mhm.
like on the top of the flagpole, looking down. Now that I don't need to be in disguise anymore, I'm wearing my normal outfit, which is I essentially look like Strider Hiryu,
I get that reference.
and with
Nice.
big long red scarf blowing in the wind. Very, very cool and dramatic, and I am up here, hopefully unseen in shadow, and observing what is happening. I hope
Okay.
no one can see my big red scarf.
It's
All right.
very, very sneaky, very stealthy. Unless unless Tuan suggests otherwise, I assume we're arriving together with whatever entourage we bring.
Mhm. Oh, dozens and dozens of ninja of the bloodline of Oni fan out through the area.
And I'm still dressed like a well, not in my school uniform. I'm dressed like a 17-year-old preppy young girl,
Hmm.
but I look very serious.
Yep. So, you go through the main lobby of the school, through the entryway locker room, and onto the stairwell. Is there anything anyone's saying as you go, or are you both very quiet?
I'm probably gonna be lost in my own thoughts.
I think the only thing I could probably think to say is just let's get this over with.
Okay.
It's a little passive aggressive sounding.
All right. You all arrive there at the summit of the school. Goro is there in kind of very flowy trousers. His chest is exposed and stands there looking at you and then looking at the the interloper. Uh so this is the one. Still trying to interfere.
Now that I've been made, I'm going to use my beat of life, so I only have 2 damage instead of 3. Since I'm going up against it's 1v3.
Maybe.
I'm gonna pop my X Factor and just clutch it.
Yeah, it's fair.
So, you sure you want to be involved in this? He says one last time.
Who is he
Are
speaking
you?
to?
The
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
You sure you want to be involved in this?
I don't really have much choice. I can't let you proceed with what you're doing.
There are no choices. It's only fate.
Fate is an excuse used by old fools who can't take responsibility for their actions.
And yet it's the young fool that comes chasing. Very well. And he jumps over the altar. And combat is going to start. I will say this, if there's anything you want to tell the other characters, you're going to have to say it on your initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So, my players and me, we are going to go ahead and hold up a d6 on the count of 3. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. So, Mine is a
Can't
1,
read
I can tell you
yours.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm at a 1. And then, Justine, what were you at?
That was a
4?
4.
Alright, so Justine is at a 4. What were you at, Tuan?
6.
6. And then for, Papin?
4.
4. Alright, so Tuan, you will be the first to be able to act. What are you going to do?
Um,
Yeah, what you gonna do?
how best to do this? I just want to double check a few things real quick.
Mhm.
What was it? What was it? What did I? How does this work? I would like to stab him.
Okay.
Aww.
Wait,
Are
Goro
you
is
are you within
uh,
range?
Goro is not within range, is he?
No, he is, all the way at a 1, and you are at a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say something, or you could use a ranged attack, or you could use an Ogi that would, affect.
Hmm. Dang it. Because all of my range attacks are range 2, and he's outside of that.
Mhm.
Boo!
Dang it.
So,
Picking 1 was the ultimate plan.
I will say this instead. And I will just very calmly say, Goro, I would like you to clarify something. Why are there 2 sacrifices for this ritual? Which one is the real sacrifice?
Okay, his smile widens. Is there anything else you're gonna say or do?
That's it for now.
Okay. Both of, Justine and Steven, both your characters are on a 4. Is there anything y'all are going to do?
Do I have a dagger as well?
I will say yes, you could have a dagger.
Oh, I meant like the special dagger. I'm
Oh, no.
assuming not. Okay.
No, only one person
Um,
currently has it.
okay. So I guess I'm I'm a little put off that you said that.
Oh, okay. I did mention earlier that I was going to stab him. And I forgot to mention as well that I did want to use a special blade that he gave me. And so since he's out of range, and that meant that I had to kind of rework it a little bit in my head, and so I was probably just going to threateningly point it in his direction while I accusatorily asked him this. So they probably would see that I have a weird blade in my hand.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then I kind of want to see if this pans out into anything. So I'm just going to take a step back and hold action.
Okay.
This is the standard nani. What?
Yeah.
Yes. What about, Steven? What about Jason? What's he
All
doing?
right. I'm gonna see after learning Omi's secret if I can try to break the hold on Sanosuke.
Okay. How are you going to go about this? Is there
I'm gonna just try to appeal to him that's inside.
Okay. Well, what are you saying? I mean, I will let you use a phrase or something along those lines.
Okay. I will say, "Hey, suit," because I never learned. No, I guess I did learn your name. I learned your name off your forms. I'll just go, Sanosuke. They have your.
Yeah.
They have you under. I've learned that you've been put under mind control. Are you really so? After fighting you, you seem pretty strong. Are you really so weak to be controlled by one such as this?
Go ahead and I'm going to say, give me. I'm going to say performance.
Okay, where's that under?
Performance is under scheming.
Scheming.
It's
Unless you can
almost
tell
right
me
in the middle.
unless you can tell me one that would be better.
I could argue tactics, mostly just because I'm trying to break him of his mind control to try to put him to my side of the fight.
Let's get tactics then.
Okay, I'm trained
Both-
in that. Also,
Yeah.
haha.
Both of you all roll on that. Well, you're still gonna have to roll against each other.
That's true. All right,
You just have a
that's
Yeah.
a 6. I rolled a 6.
6. All right. What about you? Do you have tactics as well, or
I do not have tactics, but I do have Kodama. And so that's a one step away skill, and I rolled a 7.
okay? So you would have needed an 8 to beat that.
But
You-
can I use a Soma pill to re-roll that?
If you really want to,
Mm, I'll hold off.
okay. Something in the strength of what he has said, and something in your mind, with all the information you have learned, pieces begin to fall into place, and you find that you have been under the control of a jutsu from Goro. You're
Yeah, I saw.
oh, I'm gonna leave
Well,
it up to the player. You can use it later in the game, or you can use it now.
we'll go ahead and use it later because I
Okay.
kind of know what's happening now.
Everything is a lie. Even your family is not your family. The wife and the child that you have actually works through the bloodline of Oni. You were once a ninja from another clan, and all of this has just come to light.
But what?
Yes.
What? My whole life was a lie?
That wasn't your wife, Smochi. That was just some lady.
She was store bought.
I hope that this isn't too much of a weird. When this game is over, we're gonna all be talking for a moment because y'all have so much information that nobody has shared, and this has worked so well for what I planned.
Some truths are gonna have to come out.
Oh no! Where am I?
Welcome to anime.
Are you back with us, Dad? Ultimate plot reveal. But you already know my secret, and that's not it.
All right, so that was your action, Goro.
That's my turn, yeah.
Yeah, he is going to use a necromantic power. It is a nimpo, but I think, yeah, you are out of range. Sonosuke. Oh no. Yeah, Sonosuke's out of range.
I would imagine we're like 5 steps apart.
All right. And he actually, if y'all want to roll against it, there's a really good chance you're going to beat it. But you're looking at the necromancy skill. And that is for both Justine and for Steven. Y'all both need to roll.
Okay. I'm one away with nature.
Okay.
I am also
So-
one. I'm directly above it with summoning.
So all you really have to do is roll a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
All right.
Wait, I'm in a scene with Justine, and we're enemies. Do I get my -1?
Only if you apply it.
Who? No, I'm not gonna mess
You
you
can
up
choose
right
to
now.
apply it.
Okay. So, like, if I'm like, you take a -1 right now, then she would? Or do I choose if I
Well,
want to take it?
Oh.
Yeah, you can choose if y'all both want to say, I remind you of my emotional bond with you.
Okay. No, I'm not going to do that right now.
Well, I definitely would remind Justine of our emotional bond to give her a boost.
Oh, there we go.
Well, that'll bring my current 8 to a 9. But
You both. So I will say this. So he holds out his hands, and spirits, flame and skull just erupt from him, spreading out in arcs. And you both kind of do some neat somersaults in the air and land, doing, of course, the superhero pose at different locations there on the roof.
And my scarf flares out extra big.
Okay. And he's like, the night is not over yet. He will then. We're back into initiative. So everybody, show me a new D6. You ready? 1, and I'll get one that y'all will actually be able to see. 1, 2, 3. So 3, 3, and 4. All right. So 3, 3, 4, and he is at 5, which means he will go first.
How dare he?
All right.
All right. If I remember the rules correctly, it just means he can mess up real fast.
Oh yes. All right, but nobody created any bonds with him, so you don't have any negative or positive bonds.
That's true.
So let's see. He is going to go for a close combat strike on that would be Sonosuke.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually is going to fumble. My dice are cursing me tonight. Let's see what happens.
That's what happens to liars and deceivers.
Tim's gonna leave me with
Wow.
trust issues.
I rolled a 6 on my fumble, and on the fumble chart, oh, whew, that was close. Nothing special happens this time. So nothing happens, but now it is Sonosuke's turn.
I'm going to go ahead and try to close combat him as well.
Okay.
I get to roll a Kodama, and so I want to imagine it as I am placing out pre-written talismans, and I'm flinging them at him. And this is all just for thematic flair. That that these are designed to basically home in my my body towards the talisman. So it's basically like improving my accuracy to that of a competent fighter.
All right.
And so,
And what skill are you going to be using? Oh, Kodama?
correct.
It's just a regular piece of paper. You throw it in front of him and then punch him in the face.
I'm slashing him with the dagger, yeah, but for the most part, yes.
All right.
And I rolled an 8 on the Kodama.
All right. He rolled a 10.
How dare he?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. His next closest is necromancy. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus
The 8
your
would be
roll, which was
14.
8, 14. He fails.
Yes!
Mm.
So rolling a d6, seeing where the close combat hit takes place, and he is now denied tech. But he does not have tech, so it will apply to martial arts. Ouch.
Hmm.
Okay. That is your turn, and we now have our next two characters. What are y'all going to be doing?
I'm gonna use
Um,
I'm gonna use Heart of the
you go first.
Battlefield and pick school rooftops as my battlefield of choice.
Okay.
He's on what did he roll? Or what was his number?
His number is a 5, so it has to be
Okay.
ranged.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's a counter though. If it doesn't have a range, like if it just has a dash through it,
Hmm.
does that still apply as
What is it specifically?
crushing blow? The skill is climbing.
I believe that is going to be specifically he has to be in your space. Let me
Got it.
double check, but I'm pretty sure that's
Okay.
it. So range. Attacks. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go with that for the moment.
Okay.
So, yep.
Um,
All right.
then I currently cannot reach him,
Okay.
so I will hold.
All right. And then Jason.
I already did my thing.
Okay. All right. So top of the round again with everybody. Go ahead and get ready with your dice. All right. On 1, 2, 3. 5, 3, 2. So Justine is at 5. Toan, I believe you were at 3.
Hmm.
And you are at 2. He was at 4. So there we go. Justine, you will be up first with Omi. What are you doing? He is right next to
Okay.
you.
Now I'm up. Let's see. I am going to go ahead and do meteor shower again.
Fun times. Okay.
Yes. So I'm just gonna rain it down because I think his necromancy is cool. My sorcery is better. So that is summoning, which I have,
Mm-hmm.
and that is 10.
Is that that's a Nimpo, not an Omi, right?
Correct.
All right. 10 and that was which summoning? Okay, so he's one
Mhm.
away. He's going to take damage, and he fumbled. I rolled double ones.
Oh no.
If I had my phone over here with me, I would take a picture of it so you could see and verify.
Mhm.
But I don't. So anyway, yeah. Not that anybody really cares. Double ones is double ones. So something isn't right. For the rest of the cycle, you take -1 to all checks. And he will take 1 point of damage, I believe.
Correct.
All
Yes,
right.
one ranged.
And that will be in sorcery. And then it is going to be his turn. And he is seeing that the tides are turning very quickly. And he wants to try and go for the sword. So he is going to be going after Sonosuke. And he will be going with let's see, is there anything he can do? He is going to try and bluff and impale himself on the sword.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
All right. And that is a 7. So do you have bluff?
I do not. I have trap, which is 2 steps away.
All right. So that's an
An
11.
11, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Can
You
I intervene
Yep.
with my OP on Goro? Or
What's
do
your
I does
Ogie?
that have to it
Ogies can kick off
is
anytime.
okay. It's the some dark intervention, I think is what it's called.
Hmm.
So I can reduce one of his dice to a 1 if I'm remembering that correctly.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, if you do that, goodness, that is a lot of fun because technically it would have been a 6 because he has a -1 for the fumble. And then if you reduce the only die that could be affected, because one of them was a 1, one was a 6, he just now you change it to double ones.
Woohoo!
So he fumbles
Nice.
again.
Yes.
And he is going to get a status ailment.
He's also got a broken nail because that was the joke with my Ogi.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And so because he fumbled on it, that doesn't actually count as an attack for me to dodge, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Does he
Because
actually impale himself on the sword? Or does he go, or is he just super obvious about it?
I turned it around and he just bumped his chest against the pommel of it.
Or he's just like a really hammy actor. He's like,
Hey. No, he is technically he is paralyzed now.
Oh no.
Ooh.
He cannot move, and in fact, interesting. Make At the end of every cycle, make a contortionist skill check. A success removes all instances of paralysis. So it can be
No.
stacked, but for the moment, so he is paralyzed from this moment forward, uh, and he just bumps into you, takes a point of damage, but yeah,
Okay.
it's not the damage he wants. And then Sonosuke, or sorry, Jason, what are you doing?
Seeing as I've already
Or
used my
actually, sorry.
Yeah.
That was his action.
Yeah,
So
that was
now
his action.
it's technically Sonosuke. Sorry.
Okay. And so I would like to use my Ogi.
All right, what's your Ogi?
My Ogi is the extra ninpo. And so I get 2 extra ninpo. But get ready for this. Takayanagi's family style honor the unfettered bead. Whirlwind slash. And so he pulls out his trusty sword abacus, which was in his back pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and rips it apart. All of the beads come off of it, but instead of falling to the ground, they start hovering around as if under his key control. And they
Okay.
start swarming around Goro and basically a death by 1,000 cuts, essentially.
Interesting.
Ooh.
As the beads of this abacus start orbiting around him and pummeling him. But Whirlwind Slash is a ranged combat attack, and because it's an Ogi, I get to choose of the extra ninpo. I get to choose which skill it's tied to. I'm gonna choose finance. I chose finances,
Mm-hmm.
and he also suffers a -1 penalty to the dodge check.
Okay.
And so
Technically, what skill was that?
finances.
Gee, does he even have access to that right this second? What column is finances under?
Scheming is a very scheming at the very
There
bottom.
we go. He cannot use scheming. So his next available is strategy. And yeah. No, he ain't doing it. Okay.
And so he's going to take 1 point of ranged combat damage. So he gets to choose which light point he loses.
All right. And he is still technically standing. But he is paralyzed, and he's got quite a good stack of damage on him. That said, though, we are on to Sonosuke.
That was Sanosuke.
Oh, sorry. We
Yeah,
are
we're not on
on
Jason.
to Jason. Sorry.
Okay,
I need.
I pose real cool again. I don't have any ranged abilities,
Okay.
and I've
All
done
right.
my one thing I can do that is not an attack.
All right. So, will he break out? Yes, he will be able to move this round. All right. So, everybody get ready to show me a D6.
Mm-hmm. New round.
All right. So, 1, 2, 3. So, 6 for me. 6 with 3,
Man.
3, 4.
How dare he?
Well, it could be really bad for him. 3, 3. Who was the 4? That was
me.
all right. There you go. All right, so he is going to go first, and he is going to use another Ogi. So let me look up this one. I will say that as much as I find this really cool, I do think it'd be, since the Ogis are fairly common, there's not a huge list of them. It would have been nice if they just put those on the character sheets too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, why nitpick that? Because it's still really good. All right. Solution. Emo bonds. Okay, there we go. All right. Back. All right. So everybody is going to need to yeah. He can use it because it's an Ogi, but everybody gets to roll on necromancy. And you're going to you need a 10.
So I'm 2 steps away, so that's gonna be +4. So I need to hit. We need to hit a 10. You said.
Yes.
Yeah, once. Wait, is it? It's on necromancy. So if we're steps away, then
Yeah, not
that
probably
that
gonna
applies
happen.
too.
Yeah, I cannot hit it. No.
Yeah, I rolled a 10,
I
which is
rolled a
cool.
4.
Oh no, we all get hit by
Oh,
it.
no.
All right, you are all
Oh.
taking 1 point of damage.
I'll use a prayer seal on Justine, so she can re-roll.
Cool. Thank you.
Roll double 6s because that's what you have to do.
Well, I'm right next to it. 10.
10. You beat him.
Cool.
So there you go.
But you're rolling off summoning, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, so I would
Oh,
need an
yeah,
11.
you need a
Right.
You need a 12.
yeah,
That's okay.
or 11 with the
Oh.
plus
Don't
1.
forget emotional bond. You get a +1, but
Yeah. So that's how she'd have an 11, but it'd be a 12 because summoning is next to necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Those of you who failed take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
mm,
All right.
All righty. And
No, my sorcery. It's finally blocked.
all right.
That's okay.
So on to Sonosuke.
All right. Oh,
He's ranged 2 away.
yeah.
Well, I thought my range. Wait, no. Okay, yeah.
Or not
Uh,
Sanosuke. That is I keep on getting mixed up and I don't know why.
Yeah.
That would be Jason.
Okay, I don't do anything. Next person.
yeah. And what's his range for me as well? Because I think I might be in the same boat.
He is 3 away.
Yeah, I don't have anything range 3, so I'm out of luck too.
Okay.
I am also range 3. For my action, I turn to Sonosuke and be like, "Hey, crazy question. Can I have the dagger?"
I'm more than happy to give it to her.
Thank
Okay.
you. I take the dagger.
All right. So, next round. Show me your dice. Nice. 5, 5,
Hey.
5, 4, and 2.
I'm just gonna sit down.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna take a nap.
I haven't done anything this fight.
Which one of y'all was the 5?
Oh, Rox,
All right.
Justine.
So, Justine, you are on the same initiative as same initiative as Goro.
Got it.
And I'm sorry, Steven. Yeah, this is kind of a crazy thing. But yeah. Trying to see, is there anything else? Yeah, it's weird. Usually these situations end up a lot more mass combat, but now y'all are all aligned on the same page. It's one of those things where you've only got one target. But that said, Justine, what are you going to do?
Unless Justine just turns out to betray us right now.
I'm gonna
It's-
close combat him with the dagger. The special dagger. I wanna make
All
him my
right.
sacrifice.
Make him your roll. Make your roll.
Okay,
Oh,
let's see. So this is oh, close combat is under binding, and binding is under sorcery.
Oh
Um,
no.
hang on. I can still use crushing blow, which means let's see. Use this before attempting an attack check. On a successful check of the impost skill, the attack deals 1 extra damage. So I have to roll a climbing check, which I have.
mm-hmm,
And if that's successful, it does extra damage, I believe.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I have climbing. That is a 9.
Okay.
And so now I think I make the actual attack roll. I think.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the attack. I flubbed. That's 2 1s. Oh, wait. Can I use the Soma pill?
Yes.
Okay. Let's use my Soma pill. That's a 10,
Hey.
which is better than 2.
He sees the dagger descending. He laughs, throws his head back, and spreads his arms open.
Ah, he let me do it.
It
I did.
drives into his chest. And he looks and smiles one last smile and says, "It is done. The betrayal has taken place." And falls to the ground. The earth and the streets start to rumble. The entire city, it's like you feel as if there's an earthquake of immense proportions.
Hmm.
Lights of blue begin to appear all around you, blazing in fire. And a figure begins to appear with 2 blue orbs of fire for his eyes. And he says, "My time is at hand." Come, children. Let's talk. We're gonna pause there for a moment. And yeah. Let's go ahead and I want everybody to say what was your secret? So who wants to start?
I already gave mine.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get them all back out there for viewers who might have been late or anything else.
Okay.
So, go on.
I know that spiritual forces are aligning to open a gate to the Shinobigami. I am certain the bloodline of the Oni are involved, and know they will need a specific sword, the Ashen Blade, to ultimately succeed somehow.
Okay. Toan, what was your secret?
My secret was that I was supposed to protect Justine's character Omi because she was a vital component of a sacrifice needed to open the Shinobigami.
Okay. And so Justine, what was your secret?
My secret was that my bodyguard Sonosuke had been brainwashed into serving the Bloodline clan, and my goal was to sacrifice him in order to open the portal to the Shinobigami.
Yep. And Goro was also an NPC in this, and his secret was that he was the true sacrifice.
Oh, I didn't know that. I guess that's why it's a secret.
Yep.
Dang it.
So
Trying to get me sacrificed. How dare you?
Hey.
the world, though, shakes, and Tokyo is thrown into chaos with the arrival of the Shinobigami.
Yes.
The Shinobigami are almost deity level creatures. It's actually argued by some that Amaterasu was a Shinobigami, or at least the bloodline of her ancestry was born of a Shinobigami with Amaterasu. So they're pretty powerful, but at the same time, it's one of those things with what is their true motivation? Were they going to be nearly Cthulhian-esque or mythos-esque creatures coming to destroy the world? Or instead, are they something else? And I think that's something that might be worth looking into in a future game. If my players at some point have another time to run this again, we'll continue onwards and learn who is this figure that has actually appeared and what's going on. But I will say that the spirits in Yomi are now running rampage through Tokyo. So there we are, guys. That is Shinobigami. And yeah, what did my players think?
That once you get the hang of it, it's fun. Like, I need to be a little quicker on my improv game, but it's fun.
It's definitely different, but yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Fiasco.
I can see that.
The whole
It's-
players getting to set the scene and to kind of be engineers of the game, of the narrative as well. That's
Mhm.
kind of what I was getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an interesting system. I kind of wish that I had created my character or known how this game works before picking the character I picked.
Yeah, I can understand that. But at the same time, I mean, initially we were just going to throw this together. We were going to run it really quickly, and that's why I offered up the pre-mades. But now that y'all have got a better grasp on the system, if we do ever run it again, we can always just try and run it separately, because this is, like I said, this is a cinematic game. Just because this happened one game doesn't mean it has to continue or whatever. It's a different plot every time. And it allows for a greater kind of cinematic universe or whatever, where maybe this didn't happen. Maybe it's different characters. Maybe it's a different thing. Now the clans are always the same, and the backstory to some extent is always the same. This is always about the Shinobigami. But yeah. Any other final thoughts for the evening? How about our producer? What did you think for this? Ah, oh, that's right. She's muted. But I enjoy. I don't know. I just enjoy the opportunity to do something different. But that's just me. You know.
Yeah, and I definitely had fun with the game. It's really just that last combat scene
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, this pre-made character isn't very versatile. He does one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there were things I was realizing once it actually came into gameplay, but that's also the part of getting tossed into a new game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, a new game and a game that is designed to be ran once. That's it's a different feel. But yeah. All right.
I had
Yeah.
a question, and
Yeah.
that was, what was everybody's chosen clan?
Oh, we didn't talk about that, did we?
Mm-hmm.
I was Bloodline of the Oni.
I was the Otogi Private Academy.
That's funny because I was the Hiyosaka agency, which has a rivalry with the private academy.
Yep.
Mm.
I kept because there were some elements of backstory being hidden. I tried to keep the clan bloodline, other than the bloodline of Oni, kind of hidden. I thought that was something that most everybody would know, or
Hmm.
at least have suspicions of. But yeah, other than that, I was just like, for the most part, it won't play too heavily.
Hmm.
But yeah, but that said, if we ever do run this again, maybe we'll run it. I'll leave it up to the players if they want to bring back the same characters, or if we want to play it in a different setting. I will say if you have enjoyed this or are more curious, I'm gonna make a few recommendations. The One Shot Network, about 3 years ago, they ran a absolutely phenomenal. Uh, it's 3 episodes of a podcast of Shinobigami. It is wonderful. The people they had on it were great. Uh, they they were after a mirror that was doing the same thing. It was going to be used in a occult ritual to some extent with to summon or to get the Shinobigami. But one of the characters essentially was an American that was 100% based off of Willie Nelson. And he actually talked like Willie Nelson, and, I can't remember Willie Nelson's guitar's name, but his deceased love interest was named after the guitar. Yeah, and like I said, absolutely phenomenal example of how they, played the game, and the creator, I believe, the creator or the translator for Shinobigami, he actually ran the session. So, highly, highly, highly recommend that one if anybody wants to find more about this. So I cannot stress enough that that is a wonderfully high quality, series of episodes. But other than that, Thursday we are coming back with Growing Shadows, and we have a few other things that'll be coming up on the horizon, and we also have our Actung's Cthulhu game the week after that. The follow up and or possible conclusion of that game. Any other announcements I don't think there's anything else going on right now. So, yeah. Be sure to keep in touch with us on social media. We do have a Discord channel for Quiet Gentlemen. It is pretty active, and most of the guys are pretty chill on there. We have a good time, and we share a lot about the food we cook. That's probably our most active board, is people posting pictures and talking about food.
I always forget. I mean to go into that one, but I'm very bad about remembering to use Discord.
Oh, no worries. And of course, social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. As well as some of my casts here are on those as well. You should be able to track us all down there. And of course, there is our website. Currently, we have passionnerdly.com. So feel free to go on by. We have links to our different shows there, as well as blog entries on various topics. Other than that, I think we're good. Anybody else got anything else they want to say? I think we're signing out. So yeah, we will talk to y'all later. Thanks, guys. Night.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.